Now let's go and run SQL Loader again. Copying and pasting, hit return. And now it says load completed, logical record count 11. Let's once again go and look at my log file. Back into my Explorer, open up the log file. And the first thing I look at is says records read, none skipped, none rejected, none discarded, and 11 rows successfully loaded. So, go to SQL Plus, select everything from division. We have 11 rows, and select everything from test. And there we have the 11 rows with just the division ID and name column. So you can see how easy it is to execute SQL Loader. How did I do all this? Let's go and look at the control file for this particular execution. And we can see we have load data with a file name into the table, appending to the end of the table, fields terminated by commas, trailing null columns, division ID, integer external, name, char, null if name is blanks. Let's come out of here. These two files should have actually been deleted. They still have the errors from the last execution. If any new bad records were found, it would have replaced the file. The other file we haven't looked at yet is the parameter file. I simply put various parameters in here common to every execution, so I would not have to type them in every time I executed the SQL Loader command. Going back to the parameter file, I can see I set discard max to 2, the errors to the maximum, and parallel direct true. Now let's do one other thing. Let's run this again. Once again, I've loaded 11 records. If I go back to SQL Plus and run it again, I actually have 22 records. Since I don't have any key restrictions on this table, I now have 2 loads of the same set of data. That's because in the control file, I used the append option. Let's change this to truncate. So I go to my parameter file and I remove the parallel option. Let's go back to here again and run again. And here I've completed the load, and I'll run my query again, and I can see I have 11 records. I could obviously demonstrate the other load options, but we won't worry about that for now. Once again, let's go and take a look at the log file, and we can see here we're specifying the data file, control file, bad file, discard, allowed 2 discards. If you can remember, from the parameter file, I allowed 2 discards. Load all the records, nothing specified as being skipped, the number of errors. It has all the information here. It even has the structure of the fields. And once again, the most important lines are looking at successfully loaded and records read. They must match. Obviously, you can pick out the number of errors, when clause rejections, fields that were null, etc., etc. SQL Loader is actually very simple.